Anyway, it's probably just like how stuff was done for me in my childhood, right? The memories of it all. There are some like pastries that I think are done quite differently in probably Commonwealth countries in general versus the US, which I miss. That might be about it. There's nowhere good to go with 100 gold in this act, unfortunately. Well... Hmm. If any of you don't know Edison, I highly recommend checking out his stream. He's an awesome streamer. He's been playing quite a bit of Teamfight Tactics recently, but he plays all sorts of games. And it's just like an entertaining personality. We'll hang out and chat with you. He can be a little bit abrasive with his chat too. If you're like, if the reason that you're here is for me to insult you, sometimes Edison. I always feel like I always feel like Twitch chat is an elephant and I am its rider, and sometimes when my elephant gets out of control, I tell it that it's out of control. Elephant, get back in line, sort of thing, you know? I'm disappointed in you. I feel like that's just a reality of being a Twitch streamer sometimes. Let's try going this way, and we'll fight the super elite off the store. Validate me with abuse. Such is life. Sword Boomerang or Thunderclap? Which one do I prefer for damage? Having more gold means more likelihood of hitting strength with a store. It also means more likelihood of hitting something else that I want to upgrade other than Bash. And the nice thing about Thunderclap is that you don't have to upgrade Bash quite as much. It's also good against Slime Boss. Is it good against Slime Boss? Sword Boomerang might be actually better against Slime Boss. Let's take Sword Boomerang. Is Jorbs negging his Twitch chat? I don't quite understand what negging is, 100%. I mean, okay. I think I understand what it is, but I don't understand how it's different from just insulting people. So I don't understand, like, why is there a different word for it? That's the thing that I don't get. Like, when I was growing up, I am being an asshole. That was just how you described that. But now it's like we have this, like, this special word for it that, like, makes people think it's okay or something. I don't know. Manipulative intent. Hey. Inflamed Sword Boomerang is a nice little combo. The intention matters. Hey, Ragon. Negging is emotional manipulation, often with passive-aggressive comments or comments specifically intended to affect a person's self-esteem. This is like worse than being an asshole. Alright. Gotcha. How's that different from gaslighting? Can we go all the way down the rabbit hole? What's like the Venn diagram of like being an asshole, being mean, negging, and gaslighting? Disarm Poison Potion looks okay. It's unfortunate that I cannot disarm card remove, because within Flame and a Sword Boomerang, getting rid of strikes is really, really nice. Also, disarm's not good against Slime Boss, so I think what I'm going to do instead is go in Flame and remove a strike. And then I'm going to hope that double Inflame is enough to beat a Super Elite. I have lots of health with the Blood Potion. Negging is the gaslighter's term for gaslighting. It does sound very much like an abuser's reference sort of definition. Like sometimes the people who are participating in bad behavior come up with terms which are more generous to them to describe what they're doing, I feel like. I don't know. Armchair philosophy at its best here at Jorbs.tv. 36. 68. Good fight. Gotta combust, Warcry, or cleave. Combust and cleave are both pretty good here. Jorbs.tv isn't a real link. You probably spelled it wrong. No spaces for starts. It's totally called gas lamping. I see. I'm trying to work out if I'm going this way, because I have so much health. I have a relatively strong deck. It loses me this upgrade, and it loses me an event, but it gets me another relic. Relics are good. My deck's actually not very good against sentries, I don't think. But Combust helps with that. Yeah, and I really don't know if Combust is better than Cleave when you have 2 Inflames in your deck already. It might just not be. It combos with Rupture, it combos with Self-Forming Clay, Mummified Hand, Awakened One? Wait, no. Let's try it. Yeah, no idea what cards to play on Silent. Silent's 3 main ways. Well, you just unlocked Silent, so you haven't actually unlocked all the cards yet. I think your best bet is probably just playing some runs and seeing what works for you. I can give you like the Ascension 20 super high difficulty answer about Silent, but in truth, like playing at Ascension 0, I don't know if that's what you need to be thinking about yet, if that makes sense. Story behind why it's called Gaslighting is quite interesting. Isn't it a play? There's like a play where somebody does it, if I remember right. Yeah, generally on all of the classes, you just try to make it so you can attack, block, and scale up. So if you're coming from the game, if you're coming to the game from something like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone or something like that, something that's generally present in those games is that you passively scale up over the course of a game. So in Magic, you draw a card every turn, and you get to play a land drop every turn. And that means that like on turn 6, you have more lands, so you can play bigger spells than you could on turn 1. And in Hearthstone, just like even without playing a land, every single turn you get one more mana crystal, right? So one of the unique things about oh my god. One of the unique things about Slay the Spire is that if you want to scale up, you have to actually use cards to do that. This is your first card game. Oh, cool. Oh, so you're coming to it from roguelikes. Oh, that's an interesting different direction. I played a lot of FTL before I started playing Slay the Spire, so I have some perspective on that. I think something that's different in Slay the Spire versus most roguelikes is that you really have to adapt very, very hard to what's given to you, like what's on offer. There aren't really like set builds and stuff like that, and you constantly have very challenging things to deal with all the time, and you sort of have to keep on preparing for the next thing as you go along. Keep on keeping on. No. Get all the keys in Act 1. We're close. Okay, anger's pretty swell with strength. Interesting conversations in Twitch chat today. Hope everybody's doing well. This is your biggest struggle. When do you commit to a certain build and when do you change directions? And most of the time you don't commit to either and it gets you killed a lot. I think something that's really cool about Slay the Spire, this is again something that's very different from other card games that you may have played a lot of. I think the devs took this from Dominion, which is a really cool little deck building card game. But you draw 5 cards at the start of every turn, and then at the end of the turn you get rid of them. So in Magic, if you put cards that are useless for a certain battle into your deck, they're stuck in your hand for the rest of the game after you draw them. But in Slay the Spire, if you have a card that's not useful in this fight, you just draw it and then don't play it. And so Slay the Spire decks don't have to be like all of the cards are doing the same thing. You can have one card in your deck that's very specifically meant to target a certain fight, and then it's not that great in the other fights, but it doesn't matter. Like it does its job, you know? That's a really important thing to recognize when you're thinking about building specific decks and specific combinations of cards, that even if I'm building a poison deck, I can have cards that don't deal poison damage in it. Like, it's completely fine, and they might be better at solving certain fights than the poison cards are. Vajra is nice, so we've got a little bit more strength. I'm going to take a Pommel Strike, I think. Deck's a little bit bloated with slow things at the moment. Inflame's pretty slow. Cultist Simulator is free this month. I didn't like Cultist Simulator. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cultist Simulator fans. Felt like the devs had to decide whether they wanted to make a video game or a visual novel, and they didn't decide before they released it. Mr. Beastimon. Mr. Beastimon, no. What about trolling? How does trolling fit into it all? Maybe we've moved past this conversation. Is trolling gaslighting? Is trolling negging? We have these, like, societally approved ways to refer to behavior. I wonder how, like, accurate they are at actually diagnosing what the behavior is, though. Gremlin Knob kills us. Right? A lot of the time. Not always. Lagavulin kills us too. Alright. Ooh. Scoured by flames. Sentries? We probably kill sentries. Hey Starclover. Thanks for the 3 months on Bomusho to you as well. It was sort of weird. I like went through all of that and ended up fighting the only elite I could kill. And there's also shitposting. And shitposting is very different from trolling. Shitposting doesn't have a victim. That's the key to shitposting. I think a lot of our goal as a society here, this is my thesis, our goal as a society, clearly we have some innate desire to just be assholes sometimes, right? But we need to work out how to channel that desire into shitposting, instead of trolling and negging and gaslighting and insulting people. If we can all just take that pent-up energy and become shitposters together, maybe the world can be a better place. Everyone who sees the shitpost is a victim. Sometimes. Is this from my upcoming TED Talk? All of my Slay the Spire streams are just rehearsals for my TED Talk, yeah. I'm Ted, and this is my talk. Saving the world through shitposting. Could be a bumper sticker. Hey Felix, thanks for the 9 months. Agbomusho to you as well. You would listen to my TED Talk. I don't know if my TED Talk would be interesting. What would I boil myself down to for 20 minutes? Like, I have lots of, like, TED Talk stuff, right? Like, I have my YouTube videos where I talk for 3 hours about pathing in Act 1 of Slay the Spire or whatever. What would be the lesson that I boiled it all down to, though? What is a roguelite? There are roguelites. There is the game Rogue, which is a game where you're a character and you go through a dungeon and stuff, and then there's a boss at the end. And there are roguelikes, which are games that are like it, and there are roguelites. And my understanding of the one with the T is that it isn't quite as, like, there's progression from run to run. There you go. That's how you say that. So you might die and not get to the end of the dungeon and not win, but you'd still like gain experience and unlock new abilities that you could find in the next run that you went on. That's my understanding. Oh, do I have it backwards, Veritas? Anyway, that's the vague idea. It's my understanding. I think they're silly words. They're like talking about very similar things, and the distinction doesn't seem like it matters very much to me. Take a feed. Take a Snecko-eye. It's not the best Snecko-eye. Still taking it. No, that was right. All right. You would say that my main strength is decision-making across different games. If I could capture the essence of that, it could be an interesting talk. I've thought about that. Something that I think is really interesting is process-oriented decision-making versus goal-oriented decision-making. So in Slay the Spire, people don't know what processes there are that matter in Slay the Spire yet. Hey Gimp, thanks so much for the 6 months. Agbamusho to you as well. So they don't yet know what processes are important in Slay the Spire as they come to Slay the Spire, and as they look at what Slay the Spire is, they don't really know what the goal is exactly. It's like, oh, you have to beat a boss at the end. Okay, exactly how do I do that? And so when you come to Slay the Spire, you start off with goal-oriented thinking, but your goal-oriented thinking is like, I'm going to make a deck that uses these cards together. And people get all stuck in these archetype sort of things, like I have to combine these cards to make the perfect deck, and I think people, while they're in that stage of thinking about the game, they're like more excited about getting 999 strength than they are about winning to some extent. Like making it so that their deck does the peak thing that this sort of deck would do is sort of like their goal a little bit. They're not quite interacting with the mechanics of the game and how the game makes you win and lose just yet because they don't really understand them all. And then I think eventually you latch on to enough of the mechanics and understand it all that you can realign your goal to be actually winning a run, and that changes how you're thinking about a lot of stuff. And all of a sudden, now that you have your goal correctly set, you can start thinking about process-oriented thinking. And process-oriented thinking is like, as I go through Act 1, how am I going to go through different nodes in order to be reaching my goal? How am I going to make sure that I can win? I think, God, what's the right way to describe this? I think the amount of like variance that is in a game makes a huge difference to this. So if you are in a factory and you're building a car, you can have very process-oriented thinking because everything's so under control, and you can work out, I can tweak this tiny thing just a little bit and I can increase efficiency by 1%, and it's going to save us however much money, and that's going to be cool. You can think very, very hard about the process. The goal is so clearly defined and you understand it exactly. If you're in a game where things change all the time, your goal keeps changing all the time. And so if I'm sitting here in my Slay the Spire run, as I go into Act 2, I might be thinking, oh my god, my goal right now is to get my damage up enough for Act 2 elites, and because I have Snecko-eye, I'm looking for like 2-cost damage cards really hard. And all of a sudden, you really have to adapt very, very hard, and I think that's a fun thing about these games with a lot of variance. I also enjoy games that are very like process-oriented though, where the stuff is more like locked down and you're thinking about how to improve something very specific. I don't know. I don't know if the stuff I just said was nonsense, but this is something that I think about sometimes. I'm supposed to make my TED Talk secret until the actual event. Well, what is my stream if not a TED Talk every day? Yeah, let's do this so that we get closer to drawing feet again. Even if it didn't make sense, you enjoyed hearing it. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. These cards don't help very much. I think Sword Boomerang Plus is actually so good that we take it even with Snecko though. It's an immediate upgrade. Preserved Insect's very good. I need to run to the bathroom. Hey Dawn, sorry. I'll be right back. Ooh. Okay. No clips. I can't really take Battle Trance because of Snecko Eye. Maybe I could take one, but I can't spend a ton of gold on it. Don't want a Ritual Dagger because I already have a feed. I think that makes sense. Let's fight this. Oops. Maybe a better comparison would have been, like, setting up this office. I, like, knew what I wanted, but I didn't understand how I was going to get it exactly when setting up this office. And so a lot of setting up this office was, like, I knew what my goal was, and then I was trying to reach that goal the best way possible. This still doesn't feel like it's a very good explanation. The artifact potion has saved us 4 health. Blood for Blood Plus seems actually really good. It's just one of those runs where that's a good card, unfortunately. I would have to hit one of them 3 times to be worth playing. I can play it and then play Combust. As Snecko interact with Blood for Blood, it randomizes the cost every time you draw it. The thing that makes its cost go down if you take damage still exists. So if I took damage right now, the cost of Blood for Blood would reduce. It's 9 plus 6, and then Combust. Is 9, right? 8 would be enough as well. Combust seems pretty bad with Gremlin Horn. Just an observation I'm making right now. Okay, come on. Come on, game. Good cards. We just need some high impact cards. Less of these miserable one-cost things. Cat. Hi. Zephyr is in meow mode today. Worked out okay. If we can just not die in this fight, that would be ideal. What is Zephyr's IQ? Presumably, like, what's the lowest it can go, actually? It's not capped at 0, is it? Can you go negative? Isn't it like it's some sort of distribution centered on 100, isn't it? So in theory, you could go below 0. There's nothing that, like, says that you can't. Because I don't think he would answer any of the questions on the test. I think he would choose not to comply with the tester. I don't have my beanie with me to throw at him. Shockwave's good. Heavy Blade's pretty good. Flame Barrier is really good. Flame Barrier might be better than Shockwave right now. You're getting the inside of your bicep tattooed. Cool, what are you getting tattooed on it? Cats have the IQ of a 2 to 3-year-old toddler. Okay. That means they can, like, solve puzzles that said toddler could solve, right? Like, that's what you mean when you say that? Wow. Yeah, I never liked that Centurion. I think I get attacked now, though. This AI will heal if it has 20 health to heal. I didn't get attacked. Maybe I don't understand how it works. Can I do an origami stream? We made paper cranes for a girl in our class once upon a time. Can maybe break out the old paper crane chops. It may heal or buff. Okay, well, that would explain it. Clothesline's okay. I missed what the tattoo was after I asked. Getting Mistborn tattoos, all the physical metals. You've already got 3 Stormlight Archives. That's so cool. Super cool. I think this was a strong enough start that I don't need to potion. It's the outside of his bicep on the inside of his bicep. I think tattoos are really cool. It's fun to be able to express yourself in a way that is like permanent and on your body. I think I'm not like, I don't know, not decisive enough to get a tattoo. The thought of making a choice that stuck with me forever, oh. Oh. I don't know. Get dolphin tattooed on my chest. It's a thought. It's certainly a thought. Maybe it's a. Okay, Meat on the Bone is keeping us alive. Shockwave seems quite a bit better than Offering. We're dead to champ. Got a power potion for demon form. Yeah, I got a power potion for demon form. That's the plan. Huh. Alright, let's see if Berserk can carry. Looks like no. Looks a lot like no. Sorry to say. Watch enemy. Not much. Why combust? The problem with not playing combust is that I would have to draw it again over and over and over and over again. I don't think that's a desirable thing for us in this fight. It's not like we're gonna survive for 9 turns anyway. It's just not. We're just not. That's not a thing. We need to hit really, really hard here. That's relatively hard. Now I just need to hit a little bit hard. I get to eat him? I get to eat him? No. That's not right. Alright, cool. Any other deck builders besides Slay the Spire that I would recommend? Dominion's a really good game. I am currently enjoying Teamfight Tactics, which is basically a deck builder. Bludgeon, I think, over Immolate. The number is just a lot bigger. Alright. Gotta meet on the bone. We'll see. Can't play Dominion with your family because you take it too seriously. I can relate to that a little bit. Hey, Star Clover! Hey, Meow Meow the Meowmer. Bludgeon, aka Jorbs Bonk. I'm very excited about Jorbs Bonk. Disciple, thanks for the 3-month subbed. A tabletop deck builder called Paperback where you collect letter cards to assemble words Scrabble style. That sounds really fun. I hadn't heard of that before. Called Paperback. Is like the flavor that you are writing a book? That way it's paper? Sounds really cool. Have I ever played Munchkin? Yeah, not like the hugest fan of Munchkin, but it's fun, for sure. That's a game that I'll play like once every now and then with friends. It's not a game that I've ever finished playing and thought, oh gee, I want to play it again. Whereas stuff like Dominion is like, I think I spent probably 1,000 hours playing Dominion over the course of a few months when I was super hooked on it. The Munch Down is a streamer you might be thinking of. Different from Munchkin though. How much am I trying to feed here? I have Combust, so it's harder to do. That seems relatively low cost to stay in the fight for a couple of turns. I have not played Clank. Oh. I think my brother owns Clank, but I have not played it. I think I like read reviews online on Clank. It seemed like it would be really cool, but I didn't have a copy of it, and I was gift shopping and I saw Clank and I was like, oh, I bet my brother would enjoy this, so I bought it for him. But I have not actually played it yet. Pretty sure that's where I'm at with that game. Shrug would be a lot better if I could match the speed potion with an ancient potion. Calipers is sort of weird. I'll take a shrug. How many siblings do I have? And what is my mother's maiden name? I have 2 siblings. Why don't I attack that one? What was my first pet and what did I name it? I had a dog when I was... I think we got a dog when I was like 4 or 5 or something, and it was really cool because it was like my first responsibility as a human being was like, hey, you have to feed the dog. If you don't feed the dog, it won't get food, so that's your job. And then, like, Dad and I would take it on walks together. And eventually, as I got older, it was like, okay, you can walk the dog by yourself now. That can be a responsibility. And so I learned a lot about having personal responsibility and having things that were my job through, like, my bond with my dog as I grew up. Super, super cool. I recommend creating that experience for a child if you are a parent and are thinking about getting a pet at some point, because I am very thankful that I got to have it. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Sorry. Where did that come from? Oh my fucking god. When we put my dog down, it was like the hardest that my dad and I have ever cried together ever. Like, significantly harder than, like, family members dying. Yeah, I'm not sure Disciple might be, like, a username change, maybe? I don't know if that was a thing. That's our family, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Okay, sorry about that. I think I had an emotion there for a second. Heavy blade. Need to pick up a feel no pain. Need a corruption. Need a feel no pain and a corruption and a demon form. Wondering if I take the heavy blade right now. Also wondering if the battle trance might be okay. It's a lot better if I get a corruption. It's upgraded. I don't have one yet. Let's take one. Bag of Prep is a lot of cards on turn 1. I can't quite armaments and feed this turn. Seems way too greedy. Try to feed later, so just do it like that. So I could battle trance here? Nah. Hey, thanks QBBL, I'm glad you like it. I'm really pleased with all of the new wizard emotes. Just think they're super cool. Oh! Oh, I think we might be able to win. I think that might have actually been all we needed. I need a little bit more stuff for the fights leading up to the heart, and then the speed potion might be enough for the heart. Maybe we still need more. We might still need more. Yeah, we might still need more. It's a start though. I have a paper frog and a bludgeon plus. Like if I can just vulnerable the heart, it'll take a lot of damage. Excuse me. How much Brandon Sanderson have I read? I have read the one that has the Oath of Kings or whatever it's called. The Way of Kings? I've read the 3 books in that series. The map magically mutes me. Someday we'll be able to afford another key on our keyboard so that I can make it so something other than Control M is the mute button. But until that day, yes. The map is going to be what mutes me. Stormlight Archive. That's the one. There are 3 books in that series. Yeah, I've read them. He has an MTG novella? Huh. Maybe I should read that. Check it out. Kunai? Pentagram. You're just handing it to me right now. I'm just getting it all for free. Disarm's good and Tropic Brew's good. There's no power to bottle, unfortunately. No skill to bottle either. Shockwave. I think if I got Bottled Lightning without buying it, I would bottle Shockwave. But I don't think I'm gonna bottle it for 274 gold. That seems a little bit steep. Dear Brimstone, show us you can do it. It's not the worst Brimstone ever, but I think if I take Brimstone, my ability to win the run suddenly becomes about whether or not I draw Disarm at the right time. I mean, okay, fine. I mean, how did I let you... How did I let you make me do this? You didn't even ask very much. It was like 1 person. What have I done? Oh, I did bottle Shockwave. That's nice. Could have bottled lightninged the Disarm. That's true. Yeah, that's true. I could have. I spent the gold and other stuff though. I think we can draw the disarm fast enough. I have calipers? GG. That does loopiness. Thanks very much for the sub. Agbamusho to you as well. Let's awaken one first. I'm not gonna take a metallicize right now. Oh my gosh. It's a lot of relics. Predicted Decahedron will go off on turn 1 because of Pentagraph. It's not going to be great, but it will go off on turn 1 because of Pentagraph. Brimstone is a free demon form that you share with your enemies because you love them. Yup. It's a demon form that doesn't trigger the Awakened One's strength scaling. I'm not sure that it is true that it doesn't trigger the Awakened One's strength scaling. I think that might not be true. Make that kill, or we can try for a feed. I have Pentagraph, so let's try for a feed. So much strength. I don't have enough artifact charges. Hey, Book of Napping. Just finished your undergrad. Hey, congratulations. I'm glad I could help out. Glad I could be along for the ride. This is the easiest game I've ever played. Oh my god. Yeah, that was a turn 1. Did I proc Kunai twice? Huh. Alright. My favorite part about this Brimstone pick is that the highest damage dealing card in my deck is Bludgeon. which now deals 51 instead of 42, so you know, getting attacked for an extra 20 damage this turn is super worth. Super worth. The most worth. The sword boomerangs are certainly, yes, the sword boomerangs are good too. You're right. I left that part out in order to be funnier. Mario Tamers, thanks for the 4 months. Hug to you as well. Enjoy your streaking. Just take the 34. It's a solid option. I think I want to have enough health that I can be at full health after Pentagraph still. Maybe that's not possible. Being attacked for 15 times 3. Thoughts on consume before orb generation? Like, do you take consume without orb generation? That's what you're asking? This is great. This is very enjoyable. You meat on the bones going off. It's pretty good with loops. It's pretty good if you have one specific orb that you really need more of. Like if you have a single frost orb and have to beat the champ or something. It's like fine. Not incredible, but okay. If 15 minus 3 is an issue, what do we do against 8 times 15? Well, Veritas the Snazzy Dragon, I believe we will die. I get to play 2 cards next turn. That'll be fun. Oh, I'm not getting attacked. Metronomy. Good afternoon. I don't know what the rest of that means. My Spanish is not strong enough. Eid? Probably okay with just not dying to Time Eater. Probably alright with that. Well, we made it up to Act 4. Disarm upgrade seems sort of incredible. Corruption. Corruption speed potion. Do I die to the elites? Oh, I can't buy the speed potion. Oh, that's bad. My math. It was wrong. I still have to buy corruption, I think. XP Leviosa, thanks for the 2 months. Musho to you as well. This is being patched, doesn't it? Doesn't it work differently now? It would be good. I don't have a True Grit. There are going to be statuses in my deck. Let's try it. I have Brimstone. There's no way the elites could kill me. Oh, they don't have as much health as usual. That's nice. The second wind is insane. Is it? Might not actually be very good. think we're just getting murdered by this one next turn and trying to kill the one on the left. Because it has a lot less health. Yeah, it doesn't seem reasonable to kill that. How many Reapers would I like to have in the deck right now? Yeah, all of them would be good. Sort of weird. Oh. Order! We got an order alert on aisle 7. I mean, Meat on the Bone was gonna proc anyway, I just didn't get one more block. So I have one less health than I would have. Mummified Hand. Exhume for disarm? Easiest game ever. Do I have armaments? Like, I feel like 2 Berserks in a run for the 2 hardest boss fights just has to happen. I feel like it just has to happen. How many attacks am I playing this turn? I don't know yet. How do I use this? What could it be? I think I use it now. I'm just happy with a block card. Or a double tap. Okay. 200 damage turn 1. Got Corruption in play. We have Berserk. I did not hit Disarm as fast as I wanted to. Maybe it's okay. It's enough block for this turn. Right. Hmm. Ah, fuck, I have to survive another turn. This is not what I want. I have a shrug, though. Heart. You have been a commendable foe. But not this fucking time. Jorbs! Jorbs! Does this mean chat was right? Yeah, chat was correct, clearly. That had nothing to do with our 100 HP or our potions or our Snecko Iron corruption. It was all about the Brimstone. Either attack would have been a win from Thorn's damage. That's true. That's true.